Think about your website for a second. It's basically your digital front door, right? But what if I told you that for millions and millions of people, that door is locked up tight? Today, we're going to talk about whether your digital door is truly open for business. So let me just ask you this straight up. Is your online store open to over 60 million potential customers? Because if you're not sure, you are absolutely leaving a ton of money on the table.
And no, that's not a typo. 61 million. That's how many adults in the US are living with a disability. And look, we're not talking about some tiny niche market here. This is a huge part of the population that genuinely wants to shop with you, and they deserve to be able to.
Okay, so this brings us to ADA compliance. Now, you probably know the ADA when you see it in the real world. Think wheelchair ramps, accessible parking spots. Well, that same idea, that same law of non-discrimination applies to your website. It needs to be built so that people with visual, auditory, motor, or cognitive impairments can actually use it.
All right, I get it. Thinking about all this stuff can feel a bit overwhelming, and it's tempting to just put it on the back burner. But honestly, the cost of doing nothing is getting steeper every single day. Let's dig into the reality of what happens when you just ignore accessibility. Let's start with a big one that you've probably heard of, the Domino's pizza case. This thing went all the way to the Supreme Court, and it sent a crystal clear message to every business out there. The Americans with Disabilities Act absolutely applies to your website and your app. It was a very expensive lesson for Domino's.
And hey, this isn't just about pizza chains or big box stores. Even global superstars aren't immune. Beyoncé's website actually faced a lawsuit because it was inaccessible to visually impaired users. It just goes to show you, no brand, no matter how big, is above this.
And these examples, they're not just a few isolated cases. The number of these lawsuits is just climbing, year after year. This isn't some what-if scenario anymore. It's a growing legal storm you really don't want to get caught in.
So here's the bottom line. The risk isn't just one thing. It really hits you from 4 different sides. First, you've got the huge legal risk of lawsuits and fines. Then there's the financial risk of just completely shutting out that 61 million person market. Third, there's the hit to your reputation. And finally, one that a lot of people miss, the SEO risk. Yep, search engines like Google actually reward websites that are accessible.
Okay, enough with the scary stuff. Because here is the really good news. Tackling accessibility isn't just about dodging a bullet. It's about unlocking some incredible opportunities and, honestly, building a better business for everybody.
It really just boils down to a choice between 2 paths, On one side, you've got all those risks we just talked about. But on the other, when you embrace accessibility, you get the exact opposite. You expand your customer base, you build a stronger brand, you improve your SEO, and get this, you create a better experience for every single person who visits your site. And listen, this isn't just some theory we're talking about. Look at a real-world example, Target. They got serious about making their website accessible, and what happened? A more inclusive experience, happier customers, and a huge boost in their online sales. They proved that this is just a smart business strategy, period.
Okay, so you see the problem, right? And you can see the huge opportunity. The big question is, all right, so how do we actually do this? It might seem really complicated, but you can break it down into a clear, manageable path.
Well, we've broken it down into a really clear 4-step path. No guesswork involved. First, we audit. We do a deep dive to find out exactly where the problems are. Next, we remediate. That's a fancy word for fix. We go in and fix everything from the code to the content. Then we test. We test everything like crazy with automated tools and, most importantly, with real users. And finally, maintain. We help you bake accessibility right into your workflow so you stay compliant. Now, the gold standard for all of this is something called the WCAG, and it's all built on 4 key principles. An easy way to remember them is the acronym POUR. Is your site perceivable? Can people see or hear the content? Is it operable? Can they navigate it with just a keyboard? Is it understandable? Is it clear and easy to follow? And is it robust? Meaning, does it play nicely with assistive technologies? It's not just about checking boxes, it's about building a fundamentally better website. So what's the goal here? It's simple, really. Let's build a more inclusive web together. And the best part is, you don't have to figure all this out by yourself.
And look, you don't have to just take my word for it. Listen to what Steve Gatton, the VP of IT at Fishheimer, had to say. He pointed out our ability to get the job done right and on schedule. which he said was a testament to our leadership and our technical expertise. Look, I know that navigating ADA compliance can feel complicated, but it is absolutely a journey worth taking. And the best part is, you don't have to do it alone. If you're ready to open your digital door to millions of new customers and build a stronger, more respected brand, let's talk. We're here to guide you every single step of the way.